goodness. Oh, there you are. Well, you're ever so welcome. Do come in. I tell you what I've been doing. It's all for this next play, you know. It's an Oscar Wilde one. I know it's again Oscar Wilde. I love him, don't you? I thought I better tell you just a little bit about him because however much I love him, there are some things I've discovered in these books of mine that I didn't know. So I'm going to write about it, put it in the programme, so that you will know as well. Fascinating man, absolutely fascinating. And you know, the Wilde family, no, they weren't English, and they weren't Irish. No, you're wrong. They were Dutch. Did you know that? Oh, well, you're just too clever. They were actually Dutch in origin. And they only came to Ireland, so those of you who thought Ireland, you were half there. Only half. They came to Ireland when a certain Colonel de Wilde, who was a soldier, one of these soldiers of fortune, you know, they go off and fight for anybody. Well, they did then, and they still do now, don't they, sometimes? Silly beggars. Anyway, he fought for one of our kings, William IV. And the king was very pleased with his services rendered, so he gave him some land. No, not in the south of England. He wasn't that pleased. Now this was in Ireland, in Connaught, Ireland. And so Colonel de Wilde and his family went to live in Ireland. And eventually, apparently, he became even more Irish than the Irish. And he forgot all about this business of being given this land and this property by the English king. In fact, I think he was a little bit ashamed and regretful that he'd had anything to do with England at all. Oh well, that's Irish for you. This one we know, the Wilde we know, Oscar, are you ready for this? Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty Wills Wilde was the second son of Sir William. He was a renowned eye and ear specialist and Lady Wilde, and he was born in October 1854. Well, he was quite a brilliant scholar at school, you'd imagine that, wouldn't you? Quite brilliant. And he moved from one wonderful school to another, and then he went to Trinity College, Dublin, and then, would you believe, he was then removed to Magdalen College, Oxford. Yeah. And he won all the prizes that were there to be won, and a double first in classics. Well, then he had to move on from Oxford, so where did he go? Down to London. Can you just imagine the picture in London? There we are, with all our rigidly conventional English upper classes and middle classes, and in he swept, in his velvet coat, knee breeches, black silk stockings, loose shirt with wide flowing collar and a tie, a long loose tie. How wonderful, don't you agree? How glorious. I wonder what they made of him. Must have thought he was quite crazy. Anyway, he had a good time and he started writing. No, not plays. No. The first things he wrote were poems. And they were quite beautiful. And he was persuaded to go to America on a lecturing tour. So he went, and he was a great success there. Absolutely wonderful. And when he returned to London, he was quite notorious, I suppose you could say. In 1884, he married. Yes, he did. He married. He had 2 sons, a lovely wife, and was ideally happy. In 1891, that's when he started to write prose as opposed to poetry. But he didn't write plays, no, he wrote stories. And the first book published was called Lord Arthur Savile's Crime and Other Stories. And that one, my loves, that one is the story that was turned into a play by a lady called Constance Cox, and that is the play we're doing for you in October. Isn't that marvellous? It's great fun. You mustn't miss it. I know I've done 2 others, but his work's so brilliant you could do all of them. Absolutely wonderful. The 2 of my favourites that we've already done for you were, well, can you tell me? Ideal Husband, yes, that's right. And what's the other one? A Handbag. What's it called? Importance of Being Earnest, that's right. And the rest are absolutely brilliant. The only terrible thing, in my opinion, for what it's worth, about Oscar Wilde is that he was, I think, killed. Not literally, you won't find that in any history book, but it's in my book. You know, he was so loved by all society by now in London. They flocked to see every play. He attended each one. He wrote outrageous things about everybody, but everybody laughed about it, took it in good heart. And then he did a different thing, and he showed an interest in other chaps. Yeah. And really, my loves, that was the end of him. Because there was a lot of jealousy, and one father of a son who had attracted our writer, he accused him of very nasty things. Oscar always thought, I'm sure, that he would be forgiven, but he wasn't, and he was imprisoned, and I think he was totally heartbroken that anybody could be so very unkind to a loving, still loving husband and father, and a wonderful writer of the most beautiful works that we've ever read. And so I finished this little story quite sadly. And all I can say to you is, Oscar died in misery in 1900. And remember I told you he was born in 1854? So you work that out. What he accomplished in such a short time, and what we've missed because he wasn't allowed to go on. What a tragic loss for all of us. However, what he wrote was super, and you're going to come and see this latest one, aren't you? Bless you all. Bye-bye. Well, okay, here he is. Here's Oscar in his velvet coat, look, and his white shirt with the long big collar and the flowing tie. What a lovely man. Don't know whether there are any more pictures in here or not. Can't remember. Ooh, don't think you want to see that one. There, how about that? How about that? Okay, well, I can't stop chatting all day, you know. I've got all these tickets to sell. Look at all this lot in one day. Over, I don't know, about 150 already booked. Get cracking. See you soon.